Where you going?
There's water coming out of that thing, and like little.
All right, show me. Oh yeah, a nice mister. All right, hey guys, how you doing? It's been a couple weeks. I know we've been kind of out of the radar, but we kind of want to just come to the park today, sit down with you guys, and get you up to date on everything. Nobody's at the park. It's so nice. Except Jeremiah. How was that? You feel a lot better?
Yeah.
Hi. Are you so cute? Yes, you are. Well, I guess the best place to start is like a week ago. I had like a lot of deadlines to get done. David and I were filming, just a lot of stuff. Just seemed like stress was kind of just taking over me, and I would like wake up and like my heart would just be like beating, and I'm like, I just woke up, why is my heart just racing? Well, it wasn't really racing, but you could just feel your body just kind of felt different. So somebody told me that I should probably go get my thyroid checked out, and your thyroid is up here.
Obviously.
If you didn't know that. Somebody said that could be a symptom of something called hyperthyroidism, and I was like, you know what? That could be what I'm having a problem with. And there's a place down the road that does thyroid testing, so I was like, I'm gonna go try that out. Went in, this doctor came in, and she was like, so why are you here? And I'm like, well, I'm kind of stressing. I feel like it's like worse than I've ever had, and somebody told me I should check my thyroid. And she kind of laughed at me, and she's like, no, you probably don't have that. And I was like, oh, wow. And she's like, you know what, let's just check your blood pressure. She checked my blood pressure, and it said it was like really high. I think it was like 159 or something like that. And she was like, oh, I don't know if that's right. Let's try a different sleeve thing. So they put a bigger sleeve on my arm and tested, and it said 149 over 80 something. She said, you just have really high blood pressure. And I'm like, how do I have high blood pressure? Like, I thought you get high blood pressure when you're like elderly or, you know, maybe a little overweight or something. So I was really thrown off, and she was just like, yeah, you know what, you just got to make some life changes and all this stuff. And I'm like, what kind of life changes do I need to make? Because I eat healthy, do a lot of exercise, like there's a lot of things that I'm just like, I feel like I'm doing the right things. She's like, you know, you're getting old. And then she looked at me and she's like, and you actually look a lot older than your actual age. And I'm like, oh, thanks. That makes me feel a lot better. And she's like, you know what, just drink more water and that's it. And I was like, okay. I went home. I feel like I started freaking out a little more because I was like, I have high blood pressure and I've never had this before. And then I'm thinking about my heart beating, and I'm like feeling every beat, and I'm like just thinking a lot on it, and it's making my heart like pound even harder. I was looking up things like how to lower high blood pressure, and it's like eat Greek yogurt, have berries, eat nuts. All these things that I already do. I was just like, I don't understand why I have high blood pressure. Over the weekend, I'm thinking about this, and it's making everything worse. On Sunday, we went to church, and I was like, well, surely once, you know, I sit down in church, I'm probably gonna just relax a little bit. And yeah, that didn't. I started feeling like really like claustrophobic, and like I had like shortness of breath. And Savannah's like, Mike, because sometimes she gets kind of loud in church, so we take her, or Savannah takes her out. She's like, Mike, why don't you just come with me this time? Apparently with high blood pressure, it's good to walk. I was walking around the parking lot the whole church service while Savannah was watching Mariah. Yeah, I had the sermon going on in my pocket while I'm walking around the parking lot. I'm just like, there's probably people looking at me out here. Just like, what is this guy doing? So Sunday night, I was just like, I need to get like a second opinion because this is like killing me just thinking about my high blood pressure. I went into urgent care. Jirah came with me and it took like an hour and a half to even be seen. But while I was there for like an hour and a half, I'm just thinking about my heart. I'm like, I feel like I'm about to have a heart attack. And again, I'm getting claustrophobic and it's hard to breathe and I was just like feeling sick. It was like a lot of things going on. I actually felt like just leaving because I didn't want to be there. They finally take me in. The guy's like, okay, so you have high blood pressure, all right, let's get it tested. I was like, my blood pressure is gonna be really high right now because I'm just like, my heart's just racing. So he's like, oh, okay. So he hooked me up. He's like, put your arm out. And the thing, you know, expanded on my arm. And then he's like, your blood pressure is normal. It's 120/80 something. And I was like, what? And then he said, just to be safe, we're gonna do a couple more tests. We're gonna do an EKG test, which I've never had done before. It's pretty interesting. They just put all these wires over you and they are able to, you know, test out your heart in a different way. So they do the test. You can hear the machine like spitting out the papers and the guy looks at it for like a minute. And then he's like, all right, I need to go talk to the doctor about this. I'll be right back. So it felt like a super long time. So the doctor came back in with the papers and he said, everything looks great. And I was like, really? And then he said, but we need one more like data point. We want to take your blood to check out where your blood levels are, because that's another way we can test even your thyroid to see if everything's fine there. Hey, buddy. You just gonna listen to my story? All right, Micah's gonna listen to the story. So they took my blood and they said they were gonna take 2 vials and they ended up taking 3. I told them not to sell my blood. Told them they couldn't. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so they did that, wrapped my arm up. Whoa. The only thing that we hadn't ruled out yet was my thyroid. That's what the blood results were gonna give us. Once we left there, I actually felt really relieved. I didn't have high blood pressure while I was there. And I looked up right when I was about to leave. This guy had me elevate my arm to keep it level with my heart. But the other appointment I had on Friday, they just had my arm down low. And I read up and it said you will get high results if you do not elevate your arm, getting a blood pressure result. So my blood pressure was normal, having my arm elevated, and the other person, I don't know if I was misdiagnosed. That's what I'm trying to say. Let me know if you guys know about the whole elevation arm thing. So the doctor said it'll take about 3 or 4 days to get blood results, and we got my blood results yesterday. Thankfully, everything came out normal. We were able to check off my thyroid. I think it's just been like stress, anxiety that have been like compounding on each other. The consequences of those are exhaustion, everything. It's just very heavy on your body.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you kind of stress about things here and there, but never like this. And I think it all came and started from when you thought you were having a heart attack.
Yes.
And that kind of triggered, like, even though we ruled out it wasn't, but the thought that it could have been, and then you feeling that again for no reason. Before, the result was you were exhausted from working on the car, you're in weird positions, you cut off blood circulation. But this time stuff was happening for no reason. And so it made you think about heart issues, and because of that incident, which was really scary, it started this up again. Your leg fell asleep.
Speaking of tinkly legs.
Dude, my leg was falling asleep too. And there's ants like everywhere.
After my appointment, getting my blood drawn, and basically them saying everything's good, Jirah and I decided to go celebrate.
Yeah.
Where do we go, Jirah, to celebrate?
We went to the only place you would want to celebrate at.
Yeah.
In-N-Out.
We went to In-N-Out. I was like, you know what? My arteries are fine. I don't have any high cholesterol or anything like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get high cholesterol and we're gonna go get some doubles at In-N-Out. So basically we celebrated, went to In-N-Out, had a feast. It was pretty good. So Jirah was a huge help to me in both appointments. We kind of have this thing like when she ever needs to go in, I'm hanging out with her. And whenever I need to go in, she's in.
We are the only ones who have like health problems. Like our teeth, our feet.
Hey, don't put me.
Once upon a time, I had a plantar wart, and it was like 3 months in, and my foot, it's like this disgusting thing. And it's so painful. Like when I put on my shoes, it's so bad when I walk in it. We went through a lot of like urgent care, hospital, doctors, whatever. They all said it was too much for them. It was too bad for them to handle, and they kept giving us recommendations.
Yeah.
And then there's this one doctor who recommended this like acid.
Looking for this. Is that my voice?
It took it out within like 2 weeks, and it was just so painful, and I'm so happy it's gone. By the way, his name was Walter.
Yeah, but he won't be forgotten.
So the whole time Jirah has Mike's phone, and I'm communicating with Jirah, like, what's going on? The photos just keep getting worse and worse. Like, Mike's sitting there, and the next thing he's laying on this bed, no shirt, wires all over him. And I'm like, Jirah, what is going on? And she's sending me like these gifts of people like in the ER, and they're like resuscitating someone, and I'm like, Jirah, seriously, what is happening? And then they're like in an emergency room, in a surgery room.
Yeah.
Like funny gifts, like,
yeah, like
just,
Mr. Bean.
Yeah, just trying to like make the situation like light and having fun with it. But I was like, Jirah, seriously, what is going on?
Hopefully some of you that are watching maybe can learn from this. If you are a child of God, he calls us to not be anxious about anything, but in everything, prayer and supplication, giving thanksgiving to God. What I am actually learning through this time is, well, I'm learning the effects of anxiety are really bad, and there's a reason why God is telling us not to be anxious. There's that verse that says, cast all your anxieties upon him, and then there's the extra part that says, for he cares for you. And I just think that's so amazing that the creator of the universe, God, cares about our little problems that we have. Like, that's so comforting, I think. And I'm so unworthy of that, you know? Being anxious is not trusting in the sovereignty of God. Not trusting that he's in control. And I think understanding that God is in control, whether we're going through something good or bad, should give us peace and comfort, because nothing is happening by accident. He knows what's best for us. We know that all things happen for good to those who love God and who are called according to his purpose. So even if my result was different on the blood test or anything like that, I can have comfort knowing that God is in control and I can rest in him. There are so many verses that talk about anxiety and how we can't even add an hour to our life by stressing out, because God has our days numbered. Because I think for me, it was just like the after effects of anxiety, the symptoms that come with it, like a fast heart rate. And it's just like, what is that? What is that? Why is it doing that? Like, and just thinking on that makes everything worse. It was just piling up on itself, and it's not good. So another thing I forgot to tell you guys is one of the things I didn't like about when the doctor came in, he's like, all right, so you're having anxiety and you think there's something wrong with your heart. He's like, okay, we'll check your heart. We'll do all these tests, which was great. But then he said, and then I'm gonna prescribe you this stuff. Instead of just telling me, you know, nothing's wrong with your heart. If your heart races or something, you can just calm down, you know, remind yourself everything's good, and then, you know, naturally your body will like calm itself down. But he prescribed me this like super strong stuff that I even looked at the side effects and I was like, why would I want to take this? It was like drooling, dizziness, just all these other horrible side effects. So for me personally, I'm gonna trust the Lord whenever I come into, you know, a state of anxiety. I need to trust him and say, you know what, Lord, you tell me not to be anxious. I'm gonna trust in your sovereignty, and I need to just calm down because you tell me to calm down, and then trust him to help me with that, rather than, oh, I'm feeling anxious, so I need to just pop this pill. I wanna be dependent on God, the one who created my heart, the one who created my mind, the one who is in control. I'm not saying all prescription drugs are bad or anything, but I think a lot of people just like to say, oh, you're stressed out, so just take this. This will take care of all your problems. I don't know. So anyways, guys, thanks for coming to the park with us today. We're really sorry we missed last week's vlog, but sometimes, you know, you don't want to put more stress on yourself sometimes. So yeah, and I know you guys understand, so I appreciate that. And we love you guys, and we're so thankful to be able to speak with you and have this opportunity to have, you know, a channel and stuff. But all right, well, we love you all, and we'll see you next Saturday.